Hello, everyone, once again. This is Rob, and welcome back to Media Awareness and another album review. Before I continue, however, a quick reminder the fundraiser is continuing. For those of you unaware, I am a disabled individual, and I use a motorized wheelchair slash scooter all day, every day for my independence, and I desperately need your help. This is my only means of independence, my wheelchair scooter. And without that, I am a fish out of water. On top of that, my insurance will not cover anything with regard to my scooter as they view it as a quote luxury item end quote. And I'm unable to use any other type of scooter or a standard wheelchair due to my manual dexterity issues and only having primary use of one hand. So, with that stated, the continued upkeep of my scooter is really a necessity in my life, and certain parts need to be replaced ASAP. So, with that all stated, you can find link below a spot fund account where you can easily contribute to this fundraiser. It is easy to do. It only takes a few seconds. I'm asking for $10 minimum. If you could do more, that would be spectacular. Any and all contributions are welcome, and you can also contribute via the Facebook page. You can find all the links below as well, and there will be directly below this video as well as in separate sections in the description itself. If you'd like to contact me privately regarding this, you can reach me at my email, which can be found in the description as well. It's also in the About section of my page itself. So I just want to put that all out there because I really need all your help. And I do want to extend a gracious thanks to those who have contributed thus far and those who plan on contributing, as your contributions have made a world of difference in my life, and I really pride myself on my independence. So thank you and so much for all you've done, and thank you to those who plan on contributing, as it means the world to me. I love you all. Thank you so much. So, the day is here. Dolly Parton Rockstar. And I had the distinct pleasure of listening to this morning on Spotify, as I was not fortunate enough to receive a promo copy from either Dolly's people or the record company themselves, but you'll still get my review as promised, which I figured would be the case, and that's fine with me. So, unfortunately, I cannot hold the CD in my hand, and I cannot show you the packaging to really give you an adequate review of the entire uh, package per se. But I can at least give you my opinion on the music, the production, the writing, the performance, etc. For songs that I have done reactions to, I will not dwell on, so to speak. I will simply mention them in passing. I won't really dwell on much because there are 30 tracks to go through, and I really don't want to leave anything out, but at the same time, I don't want to say the same thing repeatedly, and I've already covered some of these songs, so I'll just be kind of mentioning them in passing. So I'm going to pull up my WordPad document here, and it's going to get brighter on my face, so please beware of that. That's the only reason why I haven't suddenly turned into a vampire, although you never know. So I have my WordPad document pulled up here. I'm just going to go through this track by track and make this as easy as possible for all of you. I'm going to give you my honest opinion um, on this album as a whole once I'm through with the tracks themselves. But I do want to cover each track briefly. So the album opens with the title track of the album, Rockstar. and it's an okay track. I think it starts out a bit on the hokey side, though. There's this little dialogue, and it it's amusing, but I could see it getting old really quickly. The more times you listen to it, at least in my opinion, it's an okay song. I don't think it's a great song. I do think that the album could have benefited from it opening with "World on Fire," which is the second track. The guitar work is done by Richie Sambora, which is okay. Uh, it's not the best guitar work on the album, but it does it's effective for the song itself, and that's all I will really say on that, because I don't want to dwell, like I said, on things too much. But that's my impression of Rockstar. It's there. It opens the album, and it opens the album well. It's just, like I said, it just seems a little hokey at the beginning, and I really prefer the second track, "World on Fire," which I did cover in a reaction. I think it's a great song. I think it's really catchy. In my opinion, it really worked well in terms of the overall performance on that song. It really shows off what Dolly's capable of, in my opinion. We then move on to track 3, which is, let's see here, "Every Breath You Take," featuring Sting. Yeah, this track actually really stood out for me. Is probably one of the best tracks on the album, and Sting is only mildly featured in this track, so it really is more of a Dolly centric track, and it works really well. Track 4, which is "Open Arms," featuring Steve Perry. And I think everyone who is a Journey fan, like myself, was waiting to hear this particular song. And since the track listing was announced, and Steve Perry was announced as being a guest vocalist on this, I was really pumped, and I could not wait to hear this. And then I heard it, and it's not bad. It's not great. Steve sounds wonderful. He always does. There is a deviation on the arrangement that does not work, though. And the reason I say it doesn't work, it seems like an actual, uh, how can I put this? It seems like it was an error that was done vocally, lyrically, and just kept in and reiterated then at the end of the song as well. And that is the second line of the second verse. Um, Second verse starts out, "Living without you, living alone, this empty house is so cold." And for some reason, prior to the second verse starting, Steve Perry comes in singing "This empty house is so cold" before the verse starts. And like I said, I thought it was a mistake. And then they go in and they sing. I actually thought it was either a mistake or that was a reworking of the second verse. But no, it was neither. uh, it was a arrangement decision, and it just didn't work for me. Let's see here. We have track 5, which is Magic Man, which I already covered and did a reaction to, and my opinion still stands on that. That it is good. It is not great. It's and Wilson though and Dolly Parton sound magnificent together. They really complement each other well. So then we move on to track 6, which is, let's see here. Long as I could see the light, and this is a Creedence Clearwater Revival tune featuring John Fogerty. This is a good track. I like this when it came on. It seemed very natural. Of course, John Fogerty and CCR were very southern rock anyway, so it kind of just seems like par for the course in that regard. It was close enough to stylistically to what country is now, especially, and was headed towards. So it works really well, and I think that they both sound good together on that. Then we have track 7, which is, let's see here, either or, however you want to say it, featuring Kid Rock, and that's kind of a forgettable track. I'm sorry, Kid Rock. No offense. It just it was on. It was okay, and it was off, and I really won't be revisiting that track anytime soon. It was just kind of there for me, and it didn't stand out in any way, shape, or form. Then we have track 8, which is I Want You Back, and this is featuring Steven Tyler, another song that really did not do anything for me at all. It just kind of floundered in the ether, if you will, and it was there and gone. And I was not impressed. Track 9. What has rock and roll ever done for you? And this song is good. It features Stevie Nicks, of course, from Fleetwood Mac, as well as Stevie Nicks' very successful solo career. And in addition to her early start with as Buckingham Nicks, opposite Lindsey Buckingham, on their debut album together, which if you can find it, get it for yourself. That is a great album. But I digress. Track 10, Purple Rain. It's good. It's not great. Next one is a Peter Frampton cover, Baby I Love Your Way. And this one is just spectacular. I think this is one of the other really standout tracks on this album as well. Baby I Love Your Way and Every Breath You Take are great. Like I said, Magic Man is also good, but Baby I Love Your Way, really, they both sound really great together, and it's just a wonderful cover, in my opinion. Then we have track 12, which is Hate Myself for Loving You, featuring Joan Jett and the Blackhearts. And yeah, this is good. I like it better than the original. I never really cared for the original, so maybe that's on me. But I do like it better than the original. And I do think that Dolly, and Joan Jett sound really good together. Track 13 is Night Moves, which I really thought was actually featuring Bob Seger, who originally did that Night Moves. But it features um, Chris Stapleton, and it really is amazing. It's a great, great version of Night Moves. We're on track 14, Wrecking Ball, which I covered. I did a reaction to this. It's good, but I do think, as I stated in my reaction, that the order of singing should have been swapped in terms of who started singing first. I think that Miley should have come in first, followed by Dolly, and it's Dolly starting it out. Granted, it's Dolly's album, but I do think that Miley would have sounded better in the first part of the first verse as opposed to the way it's laid out here on the album. Then we have track 15, which is Can't Get No Satisfaction. Oh, good lord. Uh, I, yeah. I really struggled with this one. Um, it does not work at all. At all. I actually, when I heard it, it really came off as a really awful cover. It sounded like a train wreck happening in sonic form, and I really hate to say that, but it was awful. There are other Stone songs that are popular that could have been chosen and could have been really covered well. Start Me Up would have been a great one from Dolly, in my opinion. Even Under My Thumb would have been a great one for Dolly to do. Or, Waiting on a Friend. Uh, Jumpin' Jack Flash, even. But I can't get no satisfaction or satisfaction. What do you want to call the song? It has different titles depending on where you look. It just does not work at all, and it really it brought the mood of the album down for me. Yeah, it needed an upbeat song at that point, but like I said, Start Me Up, Jumpin' Jack Flash, Under My Thumb, even Painted Black. Any of those songs would have sounded better than Satisfaction. So we're just gonna skip past that. I'm not gonna dwell on that too much. Keep on Loving You by REO Speedwagon. This is also a duet, and it was a duet that did not work well for me with Kevin, um, uh, original vocalist. Subtrack 17. Yeah, Heart of Glass, featuring Debbie Harry. This one is a redeeming track, thank goodness. And it really is great. I don't think you could really do Heart of Glass without Debbie Harry. Debbie Harry. Deborah Harry. She goes by Deborah, she goes by Debbie. Here it's listed as Debbie. Uh, I I love Blondie, so I'm very, very particular about Blondie covers, and this one does work well, and it really sounds great. Then we have Don't Let the Sun Go Down on Me featuring Elton John, which is basically, it follows the arrangement of the duet that Elton John and George Michael did together back in the day, and they performed it live together. This, of course, is the studio version with Dolly and Elton. Elton, of course, playing piano, and it works really well. It's a great duet. Uh, Nothing more I can say about that. It's really done well. All right, track 19. Let's see here. Tired to rock and roll. Tried to rock and roll, sorry. Tried to rock and roll me. And this is a duet with Melissa Etheridge. And it's okay. It didn't really stand out for me at all on this album. And it was just kind of there, like some of the other songs that were done. It's not bad, but it's not great. I'll put it that way. Uh, that's the best way I can possibly phrase it. Track 20, Stairway to Heaven. And this, I'll get to this, like I said, after. I'll get to my gripes with this album after I'm done covering the tracks individually. It was a good cover. It was something that Dolly has actually done before. She performed this live on a previous tour, and it was done more country style in that particular performance of it, but it was done really well, and I actually prefer that version over this version of it. Track 21, We Are the Champions, which I reacted to, and my opinion on this one remains the same. It was okay, but it should not have included the We Will Rock You add-on at the end, which just kind of takes you out of how great she did on We Are the Champions. Yet, it is what it is. Track 22 is called Bygones. And this song is amazing. It's a really rockin' track. Dolly sounds great on this. And she sings opposite Rob Halford of Judas Priest, the metal god, and the queen of country, if you will, joining forces for an amazing rock and roll song. Then we had track 23, which is My Blue Tears, featuring Simon Le Bon and Duran Duran, for those of you unaware. And it just kind of came and went for me as well. It's a good song. I really think it would have been better if it was just Dolly and if Simon was not singing with Dolly on this one. But it's a forgettable track. I hate to say it. And then we have What's Up, which is the cover of the track from Four Non Blondes, which I did a reaction to this one. And I said my reaction to this, and my opinion stays the same, that I like this version better than the original. We then have the next track, which is You're No Good. And this song is amazing. This song was always amazing, but this song just really stands out as a great song on this album. Track 26, Heartbreaker, featuring Pat Benatar. This is great. this is, I think, what a lot of us that were anticipating this album from Dolly were expecting. And I would have actually loved to have heard this song open the album as opposed to Rockstar. This song really kicks it, and it just is amazing, and they sound great together. Then we have track 27, Bittersweet, featuring Michael McDonald. And I thought it was Michael McDonald when I was listening to it, and I didn't realize it until I just looked it up now. It's good. It's actually quite good, actually. It didn't jump off the page. It didn't really jump out at me sonically, but it's good, and I think it's a great duet. Then we have track 28, which is I Dream About Elvis. I could have done without this track. Then we had track 29, which is Let It Be, which I did a reaction to, featuring Sir Paul McCartney and Ringo Starr. And it's good. I gave my opinions on this one. Yeah, with my reaction. And you could look that up if you wish. I'm going to minimize my list here. So track 30, of course, is Freebird, originally performed by Leonard Skinner. It's not great. Freebird is a song that is really hard to screw up, in my opinion. And you basically have Leonard Skinner backing her up on this track. Members of the current lineup of Leonard Skinner, I should say, as there really is I think, only one original member still living and performing with them. I'm fairly certain. But it's serviceable. It works. And I'll get to my reasoning for some of the song choices and why I feel they don't work momentarily. But this one just, it went on too long, which Freebird does anyway. if you're familiar with Freebird, you know that already. And that's part of the problem, and I'll get to that, like I said, in this summary at the end. So, Rockstar as a whole is a good album. The songs themselves, the song choices, I should say, are good and bad. I think that there are a mixture of good and bad choices. In terms of heart, I would not have picked Magic Man. Um, that's just me. I think that Dolly and Anne could have sang alone together and sounded great. These Dreams and sounded great. Uh, Even Never. That has a lot of sass to it. And that would fit Dolly's persona, I think, very well. Um, you know, even even Barracuda would have been a good choice for Dolly and Anne. Magic Man was good. Don't get me wrong, it was good. It could have been better, in my opinion. And I think I said that in my reaction to it. Dolly Parton is a phenomenal singer. And songs like Stairway to Heaven are songs that are more musically oriented songs. They show off the band more than the actual vocalist. And there are so many other Led Zeppelin songs that could have been chosen that really could have shown off Dolly's vocals in a more prominent manner and her talent in a more prominent manner than Stairway to Heaven. That, like I said, she has performed it before with her um, on tour with her country band, and it was a phenomenal cover, and I love that version over this version. It really sounds a lot better in my opinion, and it really gels a lot better. And it's a lot more natural because it is live. This version just seems very, uh, just kind of there. It doesn't do it for me. And I really, like I said, I think that she could have picked a different Led Zeppelin song to cover. You know, Kashmir would have been a great one for her to do. And it would have really had that really kind of cool, you know, laid back yet syncopation that would have added something more to the album in that aspect as opposed to just going with what was really uh, probably the most well-known Led Zeppelin song of all time. We Are the Champions, like I said, I covered that one, and I did think it was an okay cover. Um, I do stand by my opinion that this album was tailor-made to be a crossover album, meaning that this album is made to uh, appeal to both country and rock fans alike, rock pop fans alike. We have Wrecking Ball by Miley Cyrus on here. And, I Hate Myself for Loving You. Uh, a lot of these songs, which are pop rock um, genre songs. And it's tailor made to not sound too aggressive in the production aspect, meaning the everything is really uh, played down. In some cases, some of the songs, the instrumentation sounds better than others. I think it sounds phenomenal on Every Breath You Take. That one is a standout track for me on this album. And really, one of the best songs on the album, in my opinion. If not, possibly the best song on the album. I really think Every Breath You Take just really blew me away. That and Heartbreaker, as well as Heart of Glass. Um, those are great covers. Um, World on Fire, great original. Um, Bygones, another great original that she did a duet, like I said, with Rob Halford on, and it just really works well. So a lot of these songs are really great. My problem with the song choices are, like I said, even Freebird. There are so many Leonard Skinner songs that are shorter in nature and would have showcased more of Dolly's vocal ability and charismatic talent as opposed to Freebird. I think the album would have ended off perfectly with Let It Be. And that's my opinion. I think Let It Be could have rounded out the album perfectly, and it would have been a perfect cap to a rock and roll album for Dolly Parton. But we have Freebird ending off the album. And it's not that Freebird is done poorly, it's done very well, but it's more of the band showing off their stuff. Dolly's doing some little vocal inflections and, uh, you know, lyrical repetition towards the end to add to it, but it really doesn't. It really doesn't do it justice. Doesn't do her justice, in my opinion. And she's capable of so much more. I just feel like Freebird was just a bad choice, and to end off the album, a bad choice as far as the Leonard Skinner cover. Uh, like I said, another highlight for me. Going back, Night Moves was another good cover, and there are some really great moments on this album, but there are some really sort of floundering moments as well. I think that you run that risk when you have this many songs in a collection, 30 songs, and we just went through them all. And it's a good album. It's not a great album, but it's a good album. And I would recommend it to anyone who is a rock or country fan either. You like this, you could stream it on Spotify and make your own informed decision. I'm sure it's able to be streamed on Amazon as well. If you're an Amazon Music subscriber, or on Apple if you're an iTunes person. It's also available on for vinyl records, gold vinyl to be precise. I'm fairly certain, and of course on CD. And as stated prior to this, I was unable to obtain a physical copy, so you have my reaction to the album itself, not the actual packaging and its accompanying liner notes, etc. So I hope you enjoyed this review and overview of Dolly Parton's Rockstar album. It is an album that I think you can throw on at a party and have it on in the background, and it would be great background music to just have playing. Maybe turn up a song or two when they come on, turn it down at certain points, your choice. That's my feelings on it. It's something that'd be good to have and good to play. Um, it's it has its drawbacks, and I think the drawbacks are that it is too much music. It's too long. This is uh, this is just a lot to digest, and I think it was too much, but that's just me. Let me know your opinions in the comments section below, and if you plan on picking up this album and in what format you plan on picking it up in. And I'd love to know your thoughts on the album as a whole, so please include them as well. Also, please remember the fundraiser continues. Please keep your cafe latte today and make that $10 go a long way. And if you're able to contribute more, that'd be great, but $10 does add up over time. And it does really make a difference, and believe me, it's making a difference, and all your help is definitely appreciated. This is Rob with Media Awareness. Hope you enjoyed this thorough review. This is definitely a long video, and I apologize. But I wanted to cover everything on this album and cover it in detail, or as much detail as I could. The production is iffy, like I said, is sort of tailor-made for a crossover audience. And take of that what you will. I will see you all soon. Have a wonderful morning, noon, or night, wherever you are. Take care. Bye.